Hare Krishna. Today is the appearance day of Gadadhara Pandita. And so I'm going to read verses from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita about Gadadhara Pandita. And these verses will actually explain the identity and the qualities of Gadadhara Pandita. So, let's begin. The first direct mention that I found in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita of Gadadhara Pandita is in Adi Leela 1141, which says, Gadadhara Pandita Prabhur Nija Shakti Ta Savar Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. So Krishnadas Kaviraj is describing the most intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya. And he says there, Gadadhara Pandita Adi Prabhur Nija Shakti, that these intimate associates are headed by Gadadhara Pandita. And there are different groups, but this particular group of very intimate associates is headed by Gadadhar, and these devotees are Prabhu Nija Shakti. They're the Lord's own potency, the Lord's own Shakti. So that's a hint at the identity of Gadadhar Pandita. One thing I should say about the name Gadadhar, today, of course, is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandita. Gada in Sanskrit means a club, like the club that Krishna holds. And so Dhara means holding. So Gadadhara means Krishna who holds the club. So that's actually a name of Krishna. Just like Krishna is called Chakradhara, because he also holds or wields a chakra. So that's the name of Krishna. So then the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 1.7.1 means Adi Leela. 1.7.15 says, Panca-tattva sarvaradhya korimani chaturta jay bhakta tattva aradhaka jani. That Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Lord Advaitacharya are sarvaradhya, which means to be worshipped by everyone as God. These are plenary forms of Vishnu. And then Chaturta, the fourth, Jiv Bhakta Tattva. And this, of course, also refers to Gadadhara Pandita, as in the Panca-tattva mantra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar. So the fourth is Gadadhar. Tasavar Chaturta Jay Bhakta Tattva. So in the category of Bhakta devotees, headed by the fourth, Gadadhar, Aradhaka Jani, Krishnadas Kaviraj says that I understand these to be worshippers. So there's Aradhya, the worshipable, which here refers to God. I mean, of course, we also give all honor and respect to the Lord's devotees, but here the word Aradhya, worshipable, explicitly means forms of God, to be worshipped as God. And then the other category is Aradhaka, which means worshippers. And these are headed by Gadadhar. So then in 1.7.17 of the CC, Gadadhara Panditadi Prabhu Nija Shakti Tasavar Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. So Krishnadas Kaviraj repeats this verse. This is the first verse that I read, which is from CC 1141. Now we have the same verse coming at 1.7.17, 6 chapters later, that the devotees headed by Gadadhara Pandita are the Lord's own potency, Shakti, and I offer thousands of obeisances at all of their feet. So it's also significant that Gadadhar is called Gadadhara Pandita. He's a learned Vaishnava. Also, Lord Krishna defines Pandita in Bhagavad Gita as Pandita Samadarshana, one who sees all living beings equally, because one sees the soul and Krishna in all living beings. So then at 17169, Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Dvaita Tina Jana Srivasadi Gadadharadi Srivasa Gadadharadi Jata Bhaktagan, which literally means these three are Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Dvaita, and the devotees of them are headed by Srivas and Gadadhar. So Prabhupada takes this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita 17169 to be a declaration of the Panca-tattva. And so Prabhupada begins his purport by saying, while chanting the Panca-tattva Mahamantra, one must chant the names of Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar, and Srivas with their many devotees. This is the process. So here at 17169, Krishnadas Kaviraj is establishing that these are the Panca-tattva. There were many great devotees of the Lord, and there were many pretenders also. There were pseudo-devotees. There were half, people who were somewhat dedicated to Lord Chaitanya, but still claimed to be great devotees. So you could say a practical theological process went on after Lord Chaitanya disappeared, and probably even when he was still on the planet, among his great devotees to establish who is who and what the proper worship is in his movement. So here we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in action doing that. So 110.15 of the CC, Bhada Shaka Gadadhara Pandita Gosai Teho Lakshmi Rupa Tar Sama Keho Nai. So here's another hint about the identity of Gadadhara Pandit. He is Bhada Shaka, which means literally a great friend. He's a great friend of the Lord. But Gadadhara Pandita Gosai, Gosai in Bengali means Goswami, and Teho Lakshmi Rupa, he's in the form of Lakshmi, or he is a form of Lakshmi, and there's no one equal to him. So it's sometimes said that Gadadhar is Radharani, but actually, as we will see here, the indications seem to be slightly different. So here at 110.15 in the CC, he is a form of Lakshmi. And then at 110.53, 38 verses later, the same verse is actually repeated. Bhada Shaka, that Gadadhar Pandita Gosai is a great friend of the Lord. And Teho Lakshmi Rupa, he is the form of Lakshmi. And Tar Sam Kehanai, no one is equal to him. But then it said at 111.17, Gadadhara Dasa Gopi Bhave Purnananda, that Gadadhar Das had complete ecstasy, or found complete ecstasy, Gopi Bhava, in the mood of the gopis. So does this mean in relishing the mood of the gopis and in being himself in the mood of the gopis? Let's read on and see. So, CC 11290, Panditer Gana Sab Bhagavata Dhanya Prana Vallabha Savar Sri Krishna Chaitanya. This is actually Panditer Gana Sab. So it's talking about the followers, the lineage coming from Gadadhara Pandit, those who specifically in their surrender to Mahaprabhu were inspired by and followed Gadadhar. So Prabhupada writes, all the followers of Gadadhara Pandit are considered great devotees because they have Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their life and soul. Then in CC 2, 1678, 2 means Madhya Lila, Pundarik Vidya Nidhi, Prabhupada writes, in translating the verse, initiated Gadadhara Pandita for the second time, and on the day of Odana Shashti, Pundarik Vidyanidhi saw the festival. So It's interesting because Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Radharani's father, and he initiated Gadadhara Pandit. So that's an interesting little detail there. And then more, trying to understand Gadadhara Pandit, we have three, namely Antyalila, 37144, Gadadhara Pandita Shuddha Gadha Bhav Rukmini Dever Jaiche Dakshina Svabhav, which Prabhupada translates as Gadadhara Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also very deep. It was like that of Rukmini Devi, who was always especially submissive to Krishna. And then in the next verse, 37145, Tar Pranaya Rosha Dakite Prabhur Ichahoy Aishwarya Gyane Tar Rosha Nahyupajoy, which means that the Lord wanted to see in Gadadhar Pandit the anger of love. Sometimes when you love someone, you become angry at them out of love. And of course, we know there were certain, Radharani sometimes exhibits this, and Satyabhama. So Lord Chaitanya wanted to see that anger of love in Gadadhar, but that anger did not arise in Gadadhar because he understood the greatness of the Lord, his Aishwarya, which you can translate as opulences, but really his, from the word Aishwarya comes from the word Ishwara. So because Gadadhara Pandit understood that this is God, and therefore that anger didn't arise in him, and in his purport to this verse, which is again CC 37145, Prabhupada again compares Gadadhar to Rukmini Devi. So there are these comparisons going on that Gadadhar is or is very much like Rukmini Devi. And then finally in the CC 17163, which somehow is out of order here, Prabhupada writes, no one can describe the characteristics and ecstatic love of Gadadhara Pandit. Therefore, another name for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhara Prananatha, the life and soul of Gadadhara Pandit. So, Gadadhara Pandit, to summarize what we learn about him from these verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita, what we learn is that he is a Pandita, he's a great devotee of the Lord, a great learned devotee of the Lord. He was the great friend of the Lord, which is mentioned twice. He is most distinguished in the sense that he is one of the great devotees given in the Panca-tattva. I mean, he is one of the Panca-tattva. He's one of the five. So he represents the category, you could say, of the Lord's internal energy, or of Lakshmi. He's compared to Lakshmi. He's compared to Rukmini. Interestingly, Lord Chaitanya himself is in the mood of Radharani. Not only in the mood of Radharani, if you read the very first chapter of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you get this very precise and powerful and deep theology in which Krishnadas Kaviraj says that actually Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna. It's not merely Krishna he is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, but he actually is Radha Krishna. In fact, Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Atmano Eka, what was it go? Eka Deham Gatauta, that he says that they are Ekatmanao. They're actually, the two of them are one soul. That's literally what Krishnadas Kaviraj says. So that's Ekatmanao. In Sanskrit, that means that the two of them, this is in the dual form, the two of them are actually one soul. Radha and Krishna are actually one soul. Ekatma now. Okay, found it here. This is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 1, text 5, which says the famous verse, Radha Krishna Pranaya Bikritir, the transformation of the love of Radha and Krishna, Hladini Shakti, is the Hladini Shakti. Asmad, and therefore, Ekatma Navapi, even though Radha and Krishna, the two of them are one soul, the two of them are actually one soul. Api Bhuvi, still in this world, Pura, in the past, Deha Bhedam Gatao. The two of them took on different bodies. This is literally what it says. Referring to Radha Krishna over 5,000 years ago. That even though the two are one soul here on earth, in the past, the two of them took on different bodies. But Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam. It's very interesting. But these two, in the form of Chaitanya, or with the name of Chaitanya, literally, the two are manifest now as one. That in the person known as Chaitanya, Tadvayam, those two, Radha and Krishna, those two, Aduna, now, Prakatam, are manifested as Chaitanya, in the person known as Chaitanya, and they have taken on oneness. So the two are one soul. However, on earth, they manifested as two, Radha and Krishna. Now as Chaitanya, they have again taken on oneness. So Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Sarupam. So in this verse ends with Krishnadas saying that I bow, Nomi, to the original form of Krishna, now illumined or made brilliant by the splendor of Radha Bhava, by the mood of Radha. So it does say the mood of Radha. So there's a lot going on here. I'll read you Prabhupada's translation of this verse. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency, although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity. Previously, they separated themselves. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow to him who has manifested himself, Krishna, with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So even we are one and different from Krishna. We are one with Krishna. We are different from Krishna. We are one with Krishna because we are his potency. We are different because we are tiny jiva souls and he is God. So imagine in the case of Radharani, there's also oneness and difference, or in the case of Lakshmi, especially because we're talking about Gadadhara, there's also a oneness and there's a difference, but it's, I would say, even more extraordinary in the case of Radha and Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. As with the jivas, there's oneness and difference, but it's even more amazing and practically inconceivable because of the infinite intimacy of that relationship. So we can meditate on these things for millions of lifetimes and still not come to the end of it. Anyway, so today is the appearance day of Gadadhara Pandit, and he was a very, very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya, very intimate, very important associate. I mean, we know that because he's one of the Panca-tattva. It's said that he's in the mood of Rukmini Devi. He could not become angry at the Lord, just as Rukmini. Krishna tried to make her angry by saying she should have married someone else, and she just fainted. She didn't become angry. So Gadadhara Pandita is in that mood of Rukmini. He's also compared to, or said to have, in a sense, a manifestation of Lakshmi in this world. And so today is his Parents' Day, and we should honor him with all our heart and intelligence. We should honor Gadadhara Pandita to save our own souls, and because he so much deserves it. So I'd like to thank everyone who's listening on Facebook, and hope to see you all again soon. Hare Krishna.